Okay, so here's a thought. Oil prices are back over $100 a barrel, and it's not just about supply and demand. It's about geopolitics, power plays, and how one decision in Iran can ripple across the globe.
And that ripple is hitting everything from the stock market to tech companies to retail giants. Let's get into it.
Welcome to DeActa Daily Digest. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Juniper. Here are today's top stories.
Let's start with the markets. Yesterday, U.S. equity indexes slipped, and oil prices surged. The S&P 500 fell 0.3%, the Nasdaq dropped 0.4%, and the Dow ended the day down 0.2%. The trigger? Iran's supreme leader ordered that near-weapons-grade uranium shouldn't be exported.
That decision has thrown U.S.-Iran peace negotiations into question. President Trump had said a deal could be imminent, but now it seems like progress is stalling. And with Brent crude back above $107 per barrel and U.S. WTI topping $100, the energy market is feeling the heat.
It's fascinating how interconnected everything is. This isn't just about oil, it's about investor confidence, global stability, and even tech stocks. Nvidia, for example, had a big day with their earnings report, but even they couldn't escape the broader market downturn.
NVIDIA's report was solid. They beat expectations on both revenue and earnings, and their outlook for AI chip sales was bullish. But some investors were hoping for an even stronger signal, which shows just how high the bar is for tech companies right now.
And then there's SpaceX. They filed an S-1 with the SEC for a potential IPO. That's huge news. SpaceX has been a private powerhouse for years, and going public could be a game changer for the market.
It's a rare opportunity to see the financials of a company that's been so transformative. But let's not forget Walmart, which also had some big news yesterday. Their Q1 results were strong. U.S. same-store sales grew 4.1%, and e-commerce sales were up 26%. Yet their shares still slipped.
That's the market for you. Even when a company delivers strong results, a cautious outlook can overshadow the positives. Walmart's total revenue rose 7.3% to $177.8 billion, beating forecasts. But their modest guidance for Q2 left investors wanting more.
It's a reminder of how much weight the market puts on forward guidance. And speaking of weight, let's shift to a sector that carries a massive economic load: food and agriculture.
The 2026 Feeding the Economy report is a real eye-opener. Food and agriculture contribute $10.4 trillion to the U.S. economy. That's 1/5 of the total economic output, and it supports nearly 49 million jobs.
What's striking is how interconnected this sector is with other industries. It's not just about farms and crops, it's manufacturing, transportation, retail, and more. Nearly a third of U.S. jobs are tied to food and agriculture in some way.
And the wages are equally significant. Over $3 trillion in wages and salaries come from this sector. That's more than a quarter of all national earnings. It's a reminder that food isn't just about sustenance, it's an economic powerhouse.
But it's not all good news. The report highlights some challenges, like the decline in domestic vegetable and fruit production. Since 2000, U.S. vegetable production has dropped by 39%, and fruit production is down 24%.
Those numbers are concerning. High labor costs, stricter regulations, and growing global competition are putting pressure on domestic production. If this trend continues, the jobs and economic value tied to processing and supply chains could shift overseas.
It's a complex issue. On one hand, the food and agriculture sector is a cornerstone of the U.S. economy. On the other hand, it's facing significant challenges that could undermine its long-term resilience.
And speaking of resilience, let's turn to our final story, a real-life spy thriller involving the Mossad and Hezbollah. This story is like something out of a movie.
The Mossad reportedly neutralized Hezbollah's rocket force almost overnight by turning their communication beepers into explosive devices. The details are incredible.
Mossad operatives lured a Hezbollah technician into an ambush to keep him from exposing the booby-trapped beepers. They even repurposed Mossad facilities like gyms to meet urgent production demands.
And the risks were enormous. Hezbollah was suspicious from the start, and Iran almost uncovered the plot. It's a testament to the Mossad's precision and resilience.
The internal debates within Hezbollah were also fascinating. They were suspicious of the devices, but felt pressured to adopt them because their previous communication tools were obsolete. It's a classic case of necessity overriding caution.
And then there's the human element. The Mossad tried to mitigate collateral damage and even compensate unwitting recruits, but the operation still had personal costs for the agents involved and their families.
It's a stark reminder of the sacrifices made in the shadows. The book Hoda'a Goralit provides a rare glimpse into these high-stakes operations and the strategic debates that shape them.
Whether it's the markets, the economy, or covert operations, there's always more beneath the surface. Any final thoughts?
Just that it's a privilege to delve into these stories and try to make sense of them. There's so much happening in the world, and it's a reminder to stay curious and informed.
Couldn't agree more. Until next time.